Hey friends, and welcome to this episode of the Word for Life podcast. I am so excited that by the providence of God, it has led you here to our page. I want to ask you if you would like, subscribe, share, do all those things that it may be found in the massive database that is podcast ministry. I pray that you be blessed by the word of God today, whether it's a conversation or whatever it is, whether it's me or one of our ministers, elders, missionaries, evangelists, whoever it is. I pray that it blesses your life. I also want to extend to you the opportunity to sow into our media ministry and podcast ministry if you desire. You don't have to at all, but if you desire to, the information is there on the screen, and you can share at those links so that we can continue to do this media ministry in a great and excellent way. Well, that's all I have for now, friends. Let's get into this word today, and I pray that it blesses your life, and I pray that it in fact gives you word for life. I see you when I see you. Brothers and sisters, such are the principles planted in the passage. As I cut and paste today, across academic theology, the book of Revelation is understood less as a cryptic code and more as a pastoral and prophetic message. God sees suffering, opposes injustice, and guarantees that Christ's victory will outlast every empire. There is something unique, brothers and sisters, about the book of Revelation. It stands as the only book in Scripture that primarily points us forward. It is also the only book in the Bible that in its fullness has not been completed yet. There are things in the book of Revelation that have not taken place yet. I've told you a story before. I'll tell you again. There once was a grandson that went to visit his grandfather for the summer. And his grandfather dropped him off at Vacation Bible School. Y'all remember that? Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. The grandson went to Vacation Bible study on Wednesday. Came back home to Grandpa and said, "Grandpa, I'm good. I no longer need to go to Vacation Bible School. I understand the entire Bible." He said, "I got it all down packed. There is nothing else for me to know about the Bible." The grandfather stood up in amazement. It's amazing to me, grandson, how after one day in Vacation Bible School, you've got God all figured out. He said, "I must be missing something because after 85 years of living, I'm still trying to understand what this Bible is all about." He said, "But I'll indulge you, grandson. Tell me what it is that you learned in Vacation Bible School that makes you feel like you don't need to go back." The grandson looked up at his grandfather and said, "Well, grandfather, I learned that in the book of Revelations, God won. And since God won in the book of Revelation, there's nothing else for me to learn." My brothers and sisters, there are many of us that avoid the book of Revelation. But when you avoid the book of Revelation, you are avoiding the reality that the victory over your life has already been sealed in heaven. This revelation now, brothers and sisters, is given to John the Apostle. This is not John the Baptist, the one that baptized Jesus, but rather John the Apostle, the one that is his disciple, that walked with him, that talked with him, that witnessed his glory. John is now in older age, and he now finds himself exiled on an island of Patmos. And while he is on the Isle of Patmos, where he receives this divine vision from God, the word revelation, brothers and sisters, simply means an unveiling. And from that place of isolation, God pulls back the curtain and allows John to see what is to come. He sees tribulation and he sees judgment. He sees the defeat of evil and the final restoration of all things. Through John's eyes, we witness kingdoms fall. We witness Satan defeated. We witness the final judgments rendered and the arrival of the New Jerusalem, where God dwells with his people forever. John, my brothers and sisters, is not guessing here in the book of Revelation. He is not speculating. He is seeing in actual visions as an angel takes him around to show him what God has done and what God is going to do. He's showing him the Alpha and the Omega. But by the time we arrive at chapter 22, John is no longer watching events unfold. He has seen how the story ends.
And it is at that moment, after the chaos and after the conflict and after the consummation, that Jesus Christ steps forward and begins to speak. Now, I need you to see this, because John the Apostle is given this vision in heaven. The angel is taking him around, showing him everything. And now, right when he gets to the point, I understand what God is getting ready to do. I understand the glory of Jesus Christ. I understand the full picture of what God is getting ready to do. That is the moment when Jesus steps out on the ledge and begins to speak in Revelation chapter 22. Now, not just to declare what he will do, but to reveal who he is. And church, don't miss this. Before he tells us what's coming, he tells us who he is. Because if you don't know who he is, you won't be afraid of what's coming. When you know his power today, you don't have to panic about tomorrow. This then, ladies and gentlemen, leads us to our take-home truth today. Is the sermon in the sentence, because he is Alpha and Omega. God is before my beginning, present in my process, and he's already finished my future. That's the whole sermon right there. I really could end. We've already shouted, we've already danced, but I'll work a little more. Because he is Alpha and Omega. God is before my beginning. He's present in my process, and he's already finished my future. Big Mama said it like this: why are you trying to figure it out? God has already worked it out. Revelation, ladies and gentlemen, is not written to scare the believer. It's written to strengthen the believer. It proves that the Lamb who was slain is the King who reigns. I'm going to give that to you again because you need that. Revelation proves that the Lamb that was slain is the King who reigns. This book is for people in trouble, reminding them that all of our trouble is temporary. It is a gift. The book of Revelation, is a gift from Alpha and Omega to show that God doesn't abandon the world. He renews the world. In other words, everything in your life that is broken, God won't leave it that way. Now, before we deal with what Jesus said in verse 13, we have to understand what John just saw in verses 1 through 11. John is shown the final state of eternity. He sees the river of life flowing from the throne of God. He sees the tree of life bearing fruit. He sees a world where the curse has been removed. There's no more sin. There's no more suffering, and there's no more separation. In other words, John is seeing the end of the movie. He looks around. Y'all know what it's like when you watch a good movie and the credits start rolling. You turn the lights up in your living room, and you look around at everybody in the room, and you say, that was a good movie. Yeah. When it's a good movie, you want to identify with other people that know, oh, that's a good movie. Do you not understand, ladies and gentlemen? This is why that we have camaraderie in the church. Because when your movie is in chaos, when your movie is in the climax and the peak of it, and nothing is going your way, you need somebody somewhere around that can testify, even though it's broken right now, this is a good movie. Yeah, I'm having fun all by myself. God's people now in the text are with him. They see his face, and he is their light. This is not symbolic speculation. This is a settled reality. What John saw is what God has already secured. This is not imagination. It's destination. Eternity is not a possibility. Eternity is a promise. And it is right after John sees how it all ends that Jesus steps forward. Now you got to remember, this is after the 33 years of his life. This after all the miracles. He's already gone to Calvary. And remember, he's going to take his seat at the throne. And God sees Jesus step off the throne in heaven and remind him, I am Alpha And the reality is that when Jesus is talking to John, he's talking to John, but you and I are looking through the window, ear hustling. Because if he's Alpha and Omega to John, then he's Alpha and Omega to you and I. This then leads us to the first point of our message today, ladies and gentlemen, that if we're going to understand that God is Alpha and Omega, we're going to have to understand, number one, his primacy. Alpha is the first letter of the Greek alphabet. Jesus is not just identifying position. He's declaring his primacy. I'm first. He's saying, I'm first. Not first in line, but first in existence, first in authority, first in sovereignty. Colossians chapter 1 verse 17 said it like this, and he is before all things, and in him all things consist. This is about God's eternal nature. God is not a part of the story. He is the source of the story. You see, many people lose hope in God because they feel like he's a part of the story. But God ain't a part of the story. He's the author and finisher of our... Preach, Pastor Scott. Theologians call this aseity. Let the church shout aseity. Theologians call this aseity. Aseity means that God is self-existent, means that nothing makes him up. He did not come from nothing, because if God came from something, then whatever he came from would have power over him. So he has aseity, which means he is self-existent. He does not come from anything. He does not depend on anything, and he does not need anything, but rather everything comes from him. But he comes from nothing. I don't think we understand the weight of that you serve a God that nothing can make him up. And since nothing can make him up, nothing can tear him down. I've seen lightning flash, and I've heard the thunder. I'm having too much fun. I'm having too much fun here. God did not come from somewhere. Come here, church. Somewhere came from God. God, Brother Brennan, is not early. He's eternal. Tell somebody, tell them there's a difference. Yeah, he not early. He don't show up early to case the job. He already know how the job gonna end. He knows that the doctor's report said cancer, but he is the God of cancer. If I created it, I can cure it. I don't know who I'm preaching to, but there might be somebody in the room that recently went to see a doctor and they told you that they see a mass. There is nothing too massive that a miracle can't heal. Here's the reality, Pastor Ellis, is that you can trace creation back, but you can't trace God back. Theologian John Calvin says, God's essence is infinite, eternal, and unchanging. Oh, I came to preach today. Yes, sir. Lady that came up here and wrecked this thing last week. I told her, you made me want to preach. Good God, I've been waiting all week. Now, here's why this matters, ladies and gentlemen. If God is Alpha, that means he was there before anything started. Before your life began, God was there. Before your struggle showed up, God was there. Before your problem developed, God was there. God has never said, I ain't see that coming. God is never forced to react. And here's the reality, ladies and gentlemen. If God was there before it started, then he knows how it's going to end. Jesus says, I am Alpha. Not I will become Alpha. Not I will be Alpha. I am Alpha. If God is first, that means that nothing in your life is out of order. So if your life is out of order, it means that God is not first. Oh, let me season this with let me season this in your gumbo right now since you don't like what I'm saying. If something in your life is jacked up, toe up from the flow up, it's probably because God in Alpha. Oh, look at him. You got him at Beta. You got him at Epsilon. You got him as, oh, yeah. God's got to be Alpha. In fact, the reality is that God is too good for us to treat him so bad. By the time, ladies and gentlemen, you start worrying, God has already started working. God stood at the end of your problem, looked to the beginning, and called it victory. No, you got to visualize this in your mind. I said that he stood at the omega of your life, looked to the alpha and said victory. And here we are crying, and it's all right. We are mad, we are sad, we are irritated, and we are frustrated because we forget that he's at the omega. And he hollered back to the alpha and said, even though I'm going to take them through, I know how it's going to end. This is a good movie. And God is not only before your beginning. And if he's not only before your beginning, then that means he didn't just start it. He's still involved in it. His primacy. This leads us to point number 2, ladies and gentlemen. It is his providence. Let the church shout providence. Point 2 shows us that God is present in the process. This is the part that we lose sight of, because Jesus doesn't just say, I am Alpha. He continues the statement and says, I'm the beginning and the end. And when you pair this particular scripture with Revelation chapter 1, verse 8, because scripture, oh my God, will reveal and interpret itself. Revelation chapter 1, verse 8 says, he who which is, and which was, and which is to come. That's who God is, Alpha and Omega. That phrase gives us movement. It gives us continuity. It shows us that God is not just at the edges of time, but he's in the middle of time. You got to remember, ladies and gentlemen, that you and I live in chronos, which is chronological order. We count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but God lives in kairos, which means he counts 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So while you in the middle of your process, God is laughing at you panic in your movie and saying, if they only knew what I'm going to bring out of the middle. Oh, God, that's another word. Do me a favor real quick. I'm going to try not to preach this too much, but high five somebody, tell them, neighbor, he's going to bring something out of your middle. I don't know who I'm preaching to. I don't know who I'm talking to, but you right in the middle of that divorce, in the middle of that depression, in the middle of that anxiety, in the middle of that trauma, in the middle of that bondage. But you got to know and believe that you serve a God that will bring something out of the middle. The Alpha is out of your control. The Omega is out of your control. The middle is out of your control. But you got to know, here it is, that there's a miracle in the middle. Ain't no need of worrying. Whoa, what the night is going to bring, because it'll be all over in the morning. In the morning, it'll be all weeping may endure. Weeping is a possibility. Joy is a surety. I said weeping is a possibility. Joy is a surety, which means I might cry and I might not. But I came to give you a prophetic word that God is bringing you to a place where you're going to laugh about what you used to cry about. I said you're going to laugh about what you used to cry about. That's how good God is. The text reveals a God who spans all dimensions of time. He says, he which was, that's the past. He which is, that's the present. He which is to come, that's the future. This is not just about God's existence. It's about his ongoing involvement in our lives. I hope I don't get in trouble with God, but I thank God for a messy God. Yeah, you ever known messy people, Sister Rennie? Oh, God, they always want to know what happened, what they say. Ooh, what happened? They want to go investigate. I thank God for a God that don't leave me in my mess. In the middle of your sin, what you doing? Okay, y'all don't believe that. I bring David. Come here, Brother David. He said, the eyes of the Lord are in every place, beholding the good and the evil, which means whether you in Galveston or Hungary, God sees you. Y'all don't like that, do you? God, ladies and gentlemen, is not distant. He is not detached. He is not disengaged. God is present and active in the middle. This is what theologians call the providence of God. Providence is God's continuous involvement in his creation. He does not leave his creation by itself. His ability to sustain, govern, and guide all things toward its intended purpose. The Greek idea behind this kind of sustaining power is seen in passages like Hebrews chapter 1 verse 3. He says, upholding all things by the word of his power. That word upholding carries the idea of carrying along. This is where I get happy. God is not watching your life happen. He's carrying your life forward while it's happening. I need you to do me a favor. None of your neighbors know what you're going through. So I want you to look straight at me, but I want you to talk to God. Here's what I want you to say. Lord, carry me. Good God all day. Lord, God, I need you to carry me. Oh, yeah. Sometimes, have you ever got to a place in your life, Sister Mimi, where you feel like you can't put one foot in front of the other? I can't walk, I can't crawl, I can't run. I'm losing all hope. Lord, carry me. Woo. It feels like life is beating me down. My mantra, my testimony feels like if it ain't one thing, it's another. As soon as I get the tire fixed, the engine mess up. As soon as I get the new engine, then my body start acting up. When I get my body together, now my mind is tripping. My mind playing. Seems like if it ain't one thing, it's another. Lord, you got to carry me. God, ladies and gentlemen, is not observing your life. He's orchestrating your life. Here it is, Deacon Thomas. You are not drifting. You're being directed. And here's the thing about your life, Elder Sansom. God is not a spectator. He's a sustainer. He's controlling everything in your life. And better than him controlling it is that the game and the movie is already finished. Which means there are no accidents in the life of a believer. There are no wasted moments. There are no meaningless seasons. Now, here's where this becomes personal, ladies and gentlemen, because most of us don't struggle with God being Alpha. We struggle with him in the middle. I know he began it. I know he began it. I know he ended it. But I can't quite understand why he would give me this middle. Why? How can a God so good give me a hand that's so bad? We don't question God at the beginning. We question him in the between. When life gets confusing, when prayers seem unanswered, when doors close, when things don't make sense, that's where faith gets tested. The between is where faith gets stretched. The process is where trust gets tested. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, just because you don't understand it doesn't mean God isn't in it. Here's the truth. If God is Alpha and if God is Omega, then he's everything in between and all of it is under his control. That's the reality of God being Alpha and Omega. It's more than him being the beginning and the end. It's that if he is the beginning and the end, that means he's all up and through the middle. which means your detours are not disasters. And your detours are not surprises. Every detour of your life, God has already made. Okay, all right. Yesterday, Brother Ray and I were headed to, we were headed to support and celebrate with Elder Conrad. And what had happened was, while we were driving, one of us thought we were supposed to go right. And the other one thought we were supposed to go left. And I said, I think we're supposed to go that way. And I said, you sure? Because it said, I said, listen, I never been here before. I'm not really sure. But in my mind, I thought to myself, listen, come close. No matter which way we go, if we go the wrong way, we'll be rerouted. Is there anybody in the room that can thank God that he has rerouting power? That I chose some stuff I wasn't supposed to choose. I went some places I wasn't supposed to go. But in the middle of it, that little thing started spinning, and it came up in my dream and said, rerouting. Woo, God. Can anybody thank God for the grace of being rerouted? That when I would do good and evil was present, even when I did evil, he rerouted me. Can anybody in the room thank God for the mercy route, that I haven't crossed every T, I haven't dotted every I, but I thank God that he reroutes me on my detours in life, because even when I detoured, he detoured me right back to deliverance. Your struggle is not outside of his sovereignty. Thank you, missionary shepherd, because Paul said it like this. And we know that all things work together for the good of them that love God. You have never in your life, unless you've been on My Strange Addiction, you have never in your life took a Ziploc bag, put flour in it, and ate the bag. Never. Have you took a cup and filled it with vanilla extract and drank it? Never. If you want diabetes, yeah, okay, you ain't never took sugar and ate the whole bag of sugar. I presume we wouldn't be looking at you. But when you mix them together, I mean, you can get pound cake, you can get, you can get lemon cake, you can get red velvet cake, because something happens when you mix them all together. I know Big Mama passing ain't what you wanted, but mix it with your victory. You got to, and you know why we come to church? Because when I was growing up, one of the best things I loved was in Thanksgiving time, was when my mother would call us down from upstairs. T, and I'm finished with the cake. What she meant was she finished mixing it all together, and it's in the oven. Come here, church. But there's this bowl down there. And what she would tell, she said, I'm finished with the cake. We would go downstairs, take our finger. See, y'all bougie, y'all use a spoon. We would take our finger and we would scoop up that mixing substance. Ooh, Lord. What she was trying to say, what I made for you isn't finished, but I'm giving you something for the middle. Oh, God, I need to talk to somebody, because right now you're in a lick the bowl season. You know you're going to end with the victory, but you can't see it coming. You don't know what God is going to do. You can't tell how he's going to work it out. But I want to tell you, in between, just lick the bowl. Whoa, this is going to be good. This right here going to be good, because everything that's being baked is in the bowl. Oh, God, it's just that what I'm eating right now is the finished product. Did you hear what I said? It's the finished product. Watch this. I'm watering my victory with my tears. So don't look at my tears and think I've given up hope. My tears just mean I've ran out of words, and now this is on God. God, you why we dance. My feet are the uninterpreted language of my mouth. I can't tell him thank you enough, so I put the rhythm in my feet. And I tell the Lord, thank you. Whew, I got to get out of here. Providence means God is working even when we don't see him working. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. God does his best work in the middle. Because the middle is where he shapes you. And if God is in your process, then your process is in God. Yeah. And if God is before your beginning and he's present in your process, that's how we get to point number 3. Because point number 3 is his purpose. First, you got his primacy. I'm Alpha. Then you have his providence. I'm all in the middle. Then you got his purpose. I am Omega. And I come with a reward. Point number 1 shows us he's before the beginning. Point number 2 shows us he's present in the process. Point number 3 shows us that God is purposeful about our ending. He closes the statement by saying, I am the first and the last. In other words, I don't just start it, I sustain it and finish it. The phrase the last points to completion. It means finality. It means fulfillment. It means nothing is left undone. This is the echo again in Revelation chapter 21, verse number 6. The Bible says, it is done. God is declaring that history is not open-ended. It's heading somewhere. God is not just the author of beginning. He's the finisher of our destinies. Philippians chapter 1, verse 6 says, he who began a good work in you shall perform it until the day of Jesus Christ. God does not abandon what he starts, because God never starts what he cannot finish. If God began it, God will complete it. Charles Spurgeon said it like this: the work which his goodness began, the arm of his strength will complete. Some of us are worried about how this thing is going to end. You're trying to figure it out, trying to piece it together, trying to control the outcome. But here's the truth, ladies and gentlemen, you don't have control of the ending. You don't have control of the ending. Your responsibility is to trust the author. Your job is obedience. God's job is the outcome. Oh, you need to write that down. Your job is obedience. God's job is the outcome. You see, but we got it flipped. I hate when it flip-flop. You got people in your life that try to flip-flop on you. We think the outcome is up to us. But the outcome is up to God. Your job is to be obedient. God is too faithful to leave you unfinished. Because when you look back at your life, you'll realize something, that there were moments you didn't understand, seasons you couldn't explain, doors that closed, and situations that didn't make sense. But I hear the word of Jesus ringing in my ear in verse number 12. He said, behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me, to every man according to his work. Jesus steps out and tells John and all of us and all of the witnesses, he said, I'm coming back, and I'm coming quickly. But when I come back, here it is, church, I'm not coming back empty-handed. I'm coming with a reward. And that word reward in the Greek is recompense. It means to pay. It means to settle a debt. It means a payroll. He said, when I'm coming back to pay you back. This is for the people that stayed faithful in the middle. Jesus said, I'm coming back with a reward. To the ones who kept praying when it got difficult. To the ones that kept trusting when it didn't make sense. To the ones who kept walking when they felt like quitting. To the ones who stayed committed when life got complicated. God keeps a record of who stayed faithful in the middle. Do me a favor. Ask your neighbor, are you faithful? Because Jesus said, I'm coming back with a reward. But I'm basing it based on how and what you did in the middle. You either get the reward or you get judgment. I got a question for you. Do you want the reward or do you want the judgment? God keeps a record. He saw every tear. He saw every trial. He saw every time you didn't give up. But your faithfulness in private is about to be rewarded in public. The Bible said you're sown in tears, but you're going to reap in joy. You thought that it went unnoticed. You thought that it didn't matter. You thought your faithfulness wouldn't make a difference. But Jesus said, I saw it and I'm coming back with my reward. And that's why God kept you. That's why God carried you. That's why God sustained you. And I came today to declare to somebody, if he brought you this far, he's not going to leave you right here. Because the same God who was at the beginning, the same God who stayed in the middle, the same God whose victory in Omega. And I don't know who I'm preaching to, but you've been worried about how it's going to turn out. You've been losing sleep at night trying to figure out what to do next. You've been up tossing and turning trying to ask God, what should I do? Where should I go? But God told me to tell you, it's already handled it. I need your help. High five your neighbor and tell them, neighbor, it's already handled. It's already settled. It's already done. It's already finished. The victory belongs to you. Because when God wrote the story, he did not write a tragedy. God don't write tragedies. God writes triumphant victories. Tragedies are a commonplace. All kinds of diseases. People are slipping away. The economy is down. People can't get enough pay. But as for me, all I can say is thank you for saving me. Thank you for keeping me. Thank you for holding me. Thank you for being Alpha. Thank you for being Omega. That means my beginning is covered, my middle is carried, and my ending is secure. So I got to tell you, he's Alpha and Omega. How do you know that he's Alpha and Omega? Well, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God. The same in the beginning is the same right now. Jesus is the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. If he wanted back then, he's gonna win again. Go find somebody. Tell them, neighbor, you win. You win. You win. Cry if you must. Doubt if you must. Shout if you got to. Dance if you must. Just know that you win. Because one Friday, on a hill far away, hung him high. They stretched him wide. He hung his head. For me, he died. But that's not how the story is. I practice it for Easter. 3 days later, he rose